Hey, what's up, guys? So today we'll be doing a legacy sharing as I am leaving the fellowship program at UCSF Medical, class of 2019 to 2020. It's definitely been a unique residency, as none of us expected to be a chaplain in fellowship amidst this global pandemic, as our country is still battling, at least in our state, this outbreak. Definitely it's been challenging in many ways, and I will just be following this prompt that's given by our superiors, just really reflecting upon our year, our hopes and dreams, and really just saying goodbye to my colleagues. It's definitely, yeah, it's hard. I mean, this whole fellowship has been hard. This whole residency has been extremely difficult, but at the same time, like, I'm excited to go back home with my fiance and start a new life. So it's kind of a mixed bag of feelings. I feel a lot of sadness and tenderness as I have grown so much with all of you and been through a lot of emotional moments, especially CPE, as it's very reflective and a lot of sharing and going through the feelings wheel. Shout out to Marissa. Anyways, so yeah, I'm just gonna be going through each of the questions that I think our superiors just sent us. So the first question is, what are your most important accomplishments? So I guess in life, I think one of my greatest accomplishments is just being a survivor. Going through what I went through with the Roman Catholic Church and the abuse and processing that. It took me a lot of time, and I'm still in the process of healing. But I would say that's one of my greatest accomplishments, is to really be a survivor of sexual abuse and to be able to talk about it. I think this has come a long ways. So I think that's probably my greatest accomplishment, something that I will learn from and that I will really carry into just my personal life and my ministry as a professional, to be more empathetic, to be a better listener, and to be really a guardian for those who have been victims of sexual abuse or clergy abuse. So, next question is, what are the most meaningful aspects of your life? So I guess, the most meaningful thing in my life is family. I mean, I think most of us is family. I mean, definitely in my culture, as an Asian, as a Korean American, family is super important. So, my parents, they're separated, they're divorced, but still family means so much to me. I don't have a whole lot of family here in the United States. It's just my mom and dad and my sister, and then my cousin, who actually is from Korea. But everybody else is in Korea. So, family is really important for me because our family is really small. And I'm really looking forward to starting a new family with my fiance, Dominic, and just really journeying and continuing on what's important to me in life. And for me, it's family. Family's number one, Okay, next question. What are your sources of strength, comfort, and sustenance, personally and spiritually? So my sources of strength are my family. I think my mom and my sister have been through so much with me. As a child, as a young buck, being a wild man, and also, going through seminary and my studies and, just really striving to be a good priest, and then the aftermath of the scandal, just all of that. I think, my family has been a great resource for me. They are my strength and comfort and sustenance. Certainly my fiance, Dominic, she has been a chaplain to me, really. I always kind of make fun of her, like, you're my chaplain, so my honey bun. Anyways, so yeah, I think my family, and then of course Dom, my new family, and her mother, and Ivan, and her brother Ari, just everybody. I think just family in general has been my source of support, and then also my homies, my friends, my parishioners, who have really helped me kind of get back on my feet after being let go of the diocese and from the diocese, and I think just a lot of support. So I'm really blessed to have a lot of folks who support me in my mission for holiness and to serve our community. The next three questions are, it says, reflect on your meaning making from this year as a chaplain resident. Okay, so as a resident of UCSF Medical, I've worked at cardiology. I work in the cardiology department, CVT and 10 ICC temporarily, not temporarily, most of the year, I guess. 10 ICC is the cardiac ICU unit, and 10 CVT is the cardiothoracic vascular and transplant unit. So a lot of lung and heart patients. So the first question is, what were some of your challenges and strengths? So it's kind of funny. Definitely the challenge would be the pandemic. I mean, I don't think any of us in my cohort saw this coming. It really took a toll on me personally. My small group knows, my cohort in Parnassus, we have a pretty tight group, and yeah, it's been hard. It's been really hard. I've really tried to, find more support through my therapists and my old priest friends and pastors and my spiritual director who's a rabbi. Yeah, I think going through this pandemic and living alone in UCSF, I mean, having a house not too far from the hospital, living alone has been challenging. Definitely, it could have been a lot better, but I knew this was something that I wanted to go to and to experience, as UCSF Medical is one of the top hospitals in the country. And I feel really lucky and privileged to be accepted to such a program and to go through such a fellowship during this pandemic. I think it's definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience, hopefully. So yeah, I guess my strengths. I think my strength is just focusing on work. I think I try to be more disciplined when things are crazy. I try to be more calm, and I try to step up when things are just really crazy. And I think this year, I really tried my best to be more organized, to be more reliable, to be more dependent, to be a colleague, to be a brother, not only for my patients, but for faculty and staff in the hospital, to my brothers and sisters in the program, as we are all journeying together through this. Like, there's no, the virus has no discrimination. So, just sticking, being a team player. I think that's probably one of my greatest strengths, is being a team player, supporting my colleagues. And they support me a lot too. I would say they support me more. Even the supervisors, like Beth, Marissa, Matt, all of you, Susan, like all of you guys have supported us in so many different ways. I recall many moments where I was like running into Beth's office or Marissa's office, just needing to decompress after a difficult or challenging visit, or maybe a code in the hospital, or just something weird that happened. Maybe some microaggressions, or like maybe racism. So I appreciate all the staff and my colleagues really stepping up and supporting me when it was really hard. Third question is, how do you see yourself as a spiritual caregiver now? I think since I've been a chaplain at UCSF Medical, I think this experience has given me more fortitude. It's made me a stronger chaplain, definitely more aware of staff care. I think as a previous jail chaplain or hospice chaplain, it's not as apparent. But because of this global pandemic, I've talked to so many staff, not just medical staff, but even like cooks and EVS, security, just regular folks, even the bus driver, the shuttle bus drivers, just chatting it up with them and just really trying to support them emotionally and spiritually. It's really made me more aware of my role as a chaplain and how I can be a chaplain not only to patients, but patients and families, but to the entire staff, the entire company, even the company I will be going to. I think it's made me more aware of the bigger picture, the role of a chaplain beyond the kind of more focused scope of patient and family care. The last section says, consider the rest of your life, your career, personal relationships, other service/activism. Another three questions. What do you hope to accomplish? How do you want to live? Or how do you want to be? So what I hope to accomplish is to be a good chaplain. First and foremost, to be a good person, to be a good husband, to be a good father, to be a good colleague, to be a good brother. I think that's what's most important. And I wish I can be all of those. I know I have a very unique personality, and I can be very strong and aggressive, and I can sometimes say things that I don't mean, or it comes out the wrong way. But I definitely, I love people. I want to care, and I want to be a part of their lives. I want to help as much as I can, and yeah, that's what I hope to be. I hope to be a good man, a good person, and God willing, be a saint someday. The next question is, how do you expect will become important, meaningful to you in the remainder of your life? I think a little bit of a spelling or grammatical correction there, but I think I understand the question. I think, what do you expect you will become? What will become more important and meaningful to you? I'm not really sure. What do you expect will become important, meaningful to you in the remainder of your life? Yeah, I guess what I expect to be important in my life is family. I think, all of us, we are born into a family, and then we die also, I think, as a family. And, my job is to fulfill that role of, like I said, being a son to my mother and father, to being a brother to my sister, and being a good father, a good husband, someday, maybe a grandfather. So I think that's kind of my prophetic role. I do want to be a good man. I do want to be a saint someday. So last question is, for what do you hope people remember you? I don't know. That's kind of a random question. I just hope that people remember me as someone who cared, a chaplain who cared, and who actually wanted to help people, who took the time to listen. I'm not the best chaplain in the hospital. I'm just a resident, definitely. But I've been surrounded by a lot of good role models. I can tell you that. I think in my career as a chaplain, as a seminarian, I've been privileged to meet a lot of holy people, holy men and women. Definitely supervisors here in this hospital. It's really been a great example to me, for me. My colleagues, certainly, very holy folks. So yeah, I hope they would remember me as someone who was real, someone who was authentic. For me, I always correlate holiness with authenticity. I think that's true holiness. We can always, put up a show and put up a front and all these things. That's all of our insecurities, and I certainly have them. But I think true holiness comes with truth and honesty and courage. And I hope, I was a model, and hopefully I can model that in the future, continue to model that as a chaplain, to be a spiritual caregiver, as in the medical field or in law enforcement, wherever God takes me. So, yeah. So I think that's all the questions that my supervisors wanted me to answer. Just overall, I just want to share my feelings about the whole residency, and it's really just themed around gratitude. I think since the moment I interviewed and was going to the second interview and got accepted by Susan, when I asked her, am I gonna get in or what? Because I have all these other hospitals that were waiting for my response, but UCSF was my first choice, and I told Susan that. And just gratitude. Yeah, I think my family was ecstatic when I was accepted. My girlfriend at the time, who was my fiance, she told me definitely Stanford or UCSF. So she gave me no outs at no other hospitals, no matter what. So I'm glad I got into UCSF. I think it was the best possible situation for me to grow. I think there was definitely a lot of tools, a lot of resources, really learning to take care of myself. I think self-care is something we all suck at as chaplains, but we always preach about. So it's an ongoing learning experience, how to do self-care. And I think this year, I'm still burning out right now, taking care of staff, and very emotional. I'm a very emotional person, so I just try to keep it cool, But yeah, I think just learning how to pace myself, how to do more self-care, to listen to my own advice that I tell caregivers and patients and staff. I think it's one thing to give it, but then to really receive it, I think that's a whole different thing, and to practice it. And I think this year, I think Beth, one of the first things she said was, she said, one of her sharing, she said, just being okay, like not being okay. She said, it's enough. Yeah, Beth said, it's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. Just recalling that, just saying that mantra to myself, it's good enough. Like, you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be perfect. We can always do more as chaplains, as healthcare workers, whatever field you're in, we can always do more. But the reality is, it's good enough, and we really have to trust in the Holy One, the Divine, to lead us and to really guide us through challenging moments in life. So, a spirit of gratitude, a spirit of connection and tenderness to a lot of my colleagues. I know it's been a difficult pandemic residency. We've lost a lot of parishioners and friends and colleagues who got sick. It's a difficult program, just as CPE itself, but with the added pressures of the pandemic, definitely made this fellowship very unique, challenging, but beautiful at the same time. So I leave you with that, the spirit of gratitude, and I look forward to my next landing spot at Seasons Hospice and Palliative Care in the LA branch. So I'm looking forward to serving that community and to be a good chaplain for that company and for all those we serve. So thank you.